I have got good stuff before, but I finally got some good at the Carboot. The vultures, those salty tears everywhere because I got this. But I'm gonna leave that till last. So if you want to see that, just skip to the end. if you're that impatient. Yeah, been to the Carboot this morning. It was pissing it down. Like, I woke up at 5:20. It was absolutely torrential. So I was like, do I stay in bed? Do I not? Then I thought, it is brightening up later, so I stayed in bed a bit longer than I normally would. Drove to the first Carboot. It was still pissing it down. I was just like, I don't think there's gonna be anyone there. I thought I'll have a look. See if there was a few people there. There was about 8 people there. Obviously no one was really setting up, so it's sort of like, do you stay here or do I go to the bigger one? So I had a McDonald's because it's rude not to not have a McDonald's. And I was walking up on the road and I saw this woman getting a box out of a car, and I was like, it looked, just because the colour of it, it looked a bit like a friggin' like one of the foot spa things. I don't know why I got that in my head. And when she pulled it round, it was actually a PlayStation 2 in the box. And I was like, oh yeah. The only thing, it was raining and it was absolutely torrential, and I thought, I've just got to make a decision on this quick because the box is going to get absolutely destroyed if I wait any longer. So I had a quick peek in it. It was all there, absolutely mint. I was just like, how much is the PS2? She's like £10. So I was like, boom, yeah, I'll take it. So I got back to the car. Now I've just checked it over now, and it is mint, to be fair. And it is none other than, yeah, let me grab it, the pink PlayStation 2 starter pack. And this is absolutely pristine. So you got the two pink remotes, and it's all in bags as well, which is always a good sign. And then the console is in this little bag. And to be fair, I don't think they've even used this. I honestly do not. There's not a single. There's some light scratches on the top, but that's because it's shiny. But yeah, and I have always wanted one of these. I don't know why, but they look so cool in pink, so just get back in the bag. So yeah, pink PS2. Again, the box is good condition because it came in a bigger box. And this is actually the SingStar Pop Hits bundle. Again, it's all there. Lovely condition. It survived the rain, just. One thing I'm not sure if it smells like perfume. It comes with this weird stand thing. Is that part of it, or because it don't look official, but there is actually, it is standing on something on the picture on the box. So maybe I'll check eBay, see if that's actually part of it. It just feels really cheap and tacky. I'm not sure if that is part of it. But yeah, it's got the memory card and everything else, the remotes. The only thing it's missing is the game. It's probably like £1 game, so depending on how long this video takes, I might nip back and see if she's still got it. Because then I was like, oh, you got any more game stuff? And she says, oh, I've got loads of PS2 games. So I thought, man, I'll take that to the car before it gets soaked. So she ran off to the car with that. Obviously, I didn't check it because I didn't check it till I got home, but I just pulled out a bag of games. Nothing great. It was all sort of like girly stuff. But there was 2 I just took a punt on. I've never seen this one before. Again, I don't think they've even used these games. But yeah, it's the Crash Bandicoot Action Pack. Comes with 3 games, 3 discs in there. Crash Nitro Karts, Crash Tag Team Racing, and Crash Twin Sanities in that. And then also I bought Cartoon Network Racing. I'm not even sure if that's worth anything. But it looks different, so might give that a go. £1 each for them. And I'm sure she had the SingStar game in the stack of games, so can I be bothered to go back and get it? I'm not sure. I've just noticed this stand is actually, you see that? It's sort of two-tone. You probably can't see the colour, but it's yellow one side, like it's been sitting in the sunlight. So maybe they have had it out, but just not used it all. So yeah, £2 for them. Not bad. And then off to the next Carboot, and it was still raining at this point. And I was thinking, again, there's not going to be many people there. But there was quite a few people there. Missed some stuff because you always do. You can't be everywhere at once. The first thing I got was another copy of Black Ops 3, which has now gone up in price. So I took that Xbox version in, got £6, and then the day after it went up to 13 fucking quid. So, but this is £12 in CX, so that's going straight in. That's £3. Chap had a load of Xbox games, a ton of Lego games, and I know a lot of them have dropped in price, like quite a lot on CX. And I'm not buying something if it's like a couple of quid. I'm not really bothered if I'm going to flip it for a couple of quid. So I sort of do that thing where I start checking my phone, but I don't like to do it while I'm standing there. So I sort of try and go, I'm just checking my list of what games I've got because I don't buy the same ones. But yeah, I'm actually checking CX. But yeah, so these are £3 each. I said 2 for a £5. He says yeah. So Harry Potter and Lego Batman 3. Is that even in there? It's extra light. Oh yeah, it's in there. I think they're £7 each at CX. So fire them in. There was a lot of going back over previous rows this week because obviously people just weren't getting the stuff out. This woman, I'd walked past the store a few times. I noticed these on the floor, and I was like, I thought they were PS2 controllers at first, but they weren't. They're actually PS3 controllers, and I've actually wrapped them up, and they're all stuck together now. So, but they've just got the charging cables in them. So at first glance, I was like, oh, it's just some PS2 controllers. Asked how much she wanted for them. She said £5. So she looked. I said, oh, well, that was £4. And she looked at her son, and he was like, no. So I was just like, I'll take them for a £5. And they're actually £16 each on CX, which I couldn't believe. I was like, Jesus Christ. So I might keep one because mine's broke and just shove the other one in CX. But for a £5, that's a bargain. What else did I get? I think that was it for that car boot. A bloke did have a NES Mini at the car boot. He pulled it out, and it was just that I picked it up and I was like, this is an empty box, there's nothing in it. And I was like, how much is the NES Mini? He's like, oh, £1.50. I was like, oh, what is it? Just an empty box for £1.50? He's like, no, £150. I was like, where is it? He's like, it's in the car. I was just like, oh, okay. He's like, and I was just like, £150. I was like, I don't even have £150 like on me. I mean, who takes £150 to the car boot? I mean, some people might, but I don't. I normally 100 max. I was just thinking these go for about 110 on eBay, like all day long. And he was like, oh well, someone might make me an offer on it. I was just like, no, you're not going to sell that. You're not going to sell that at all. You'd be lucky to get 70 at the car boot for it. So obviously that was hilarious. And then I went to another car boot. A chap did say he was bringing some retro stuff for me to look through. And on the way there, so I basically forgot it. Obviously forgot it. So, but I did get an Xbox 360, Xbox One headset for £1. So they're £8 in CX. So I'll flip that in. And also I bought Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition for £1. This is £3 in CX. But yeah, I already got it. So a bit more credit. And that's all I got at the car boot. Apart from the mystery awesome thing I got. I got one from some CX. So all that stuff from the last video, I took it all in, got it, but I did take a few Dreamcast games back. I did say I was going to keep them, but I was like, the condition, they were winding me up, so I took them back in and they were fine with it, to be fair. The woman serving me was really nice. She was like, oh, it's fine, yeah, whatever. I'll just refund them. I'm not bothered. So while I was there, I was like, I took a PS1 in as well. Got 26 quid for that. He tried to tell me it was discounted. I was like, no, that's mint. And it comes with all the original cables. So I got the mint price for it. It took like an hour and a half to test it though. So when I came back, I was like, there was 2 of these items in stock which I wanted. So I was like, one of them's hopefully boxed. So I was like, I'm looking for a PlayStation TV. And she was like, what's one of them? I was just like, it's... And I tried to describe what it was, and she's like, all right. I was like, you got 2 in stock. So she went to look for them. She couldn't find them. And I glanced over, and I noticed there was one on the internet, where they put the internet orders. And I was like, for fuck's sake. And it was boxed as well. So I was just like, but the other one's not boxed. So it took her about 20 minutes to find it, and then she finally got it. Obviously, this wasn't in the box. So I was just like, well, I want one, but I want it in the original box, like the one on there. She's like, I'll just swap them over. So she swapped it over. And I think this was 32 quid, which is an absolute bargain. So for 32 quid, a box PlayStation TV. And I can't believe how small these are. They're absolutely tiny. Tiny. I suppose it's just a PlayStation Vita without the screen, just all the guts of it. No battery, obviously. And yeah, I had a go on it. It's pretty good. On my TV though, because my TV is 47 inch, the pitch quality is a bit, it's not as crisp as I'd like it, but it's just because it's just so blown up. But yeah, I quit going Persona 4 Golden, which is obviously an amazing game, just to see if it was working. It works fine. Yeah, so I swapped that over. I had some credit from that stuff I just took in, so I thought for a box PlayStation, 32 quid, that's an absolute bargain. One thing I've noticed though is a lot of the games aren't compatible with it, because obviously they require the back touchscreen and the front touchscreen of the PlayStation Vita. So there's actually, I'd say over half the library is not compatible with it, which is a bit annoying. I read if you get a PS4 controller, you can use the touchpad on it to replicate the touchscreen aspect of the PlayStation Vita. But obviously, there's nothing they can do to replicate the back touchpad. So some games just will not work. But I've got quite a few which work. So it's just nice to have when you don't want to sit there with a small screen. You can just whack it on that. But yeah, another thing, being so small as well, and you got the cables in, it just slides all over the frigging place, because it's just like, and the cables, the weight of the cable was obviously trying to pull it off my thing, which is a pain in the ass. But I might buy a stand for it. You can get like an official stand for $3.99. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Got a charity shop here. Got a charity shop item as well, just the one. I was working somewhere quite far away, and I was like, have a quick look around the charity shops. So I think they opened at 9 o'clock, and I went in about, it must have been 9:30 I went in, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, I'll buy that. So for $2.99, I got me Marigold Toadstool Tour, and this is mint, absolutely mint. So I'm gonna have to see if mine's, swap that with mine maybe, see if mine's not as good. When I was buying it, she was like, oh, these are selling well. I was like, don't stop talking right now. And she's like, yeah, we had loads of GameCube stuff. Literally just sold it. Like, she's like, I put them out this morning. I was like, why did you have to tell me that? You could just kept your mouth shut and not tell me. So I was just like, all the way back to the Works van. I was just like, what do they have? Zelda. So it's so annoying when that happens. And on to the final piece. It's not the biggest thing in the world. There's a lot of shit with it, to be fair. So I normally go to a Saturday Carboot, and again the weather was a bit iffy, and I was like, I'll go anyway because it gets me up. So I drove to it. There was about 6 cars there, and there's all the usual vultures, and there's 2 there. They really fucked me off. So they're about half set up, and I thought I'll go in now because I was sitting in my car. Paid the 50p. On the first doors, there's some DS games in this car door. And I was just like, oh, what DS games you got? And she's like, oh, I think they're all like girly games. I was like, all right. So I could sort of see what they were for the box. And I was just like, most of them were like shit games. I think there was one which was the wrong way around, or 2. So just like, all right. She's like, oh, I'll get them out if you want to look at them. And then these fucking ignorant pricks come over, and they literally pushed her out the way to see what the games were. And so I go around to the boot, and then they come round. They just literally just snatch the games out of her hand. There was nothing there, because the other two which were facing the wrong way were, again, they were just two shit games. So I was like, fucking, yeah, I was like, you can just fucking have them. So that fucking pissed me right off. And I see them all the time, and they do it all the fucking time. They just push people out of the way, they're in people's boots. It's rude. It's so fucking rude. So I was just wandering around then. I was pretty fucking wound up. Looking at the stall, spun round, and I saw this across on the stall opposite, and I was like, holy shit! So I ran over, and I was just like, oh, how much is this? She's like, oh, £5. I was like, all right, is that with the game? She's like, oh no, they're another £5. Anyway, these two fucking wankers, they were right behind me, and I was just like, yeah, I'll take that. So for £10, I got me a boxed yellow Game Boy Color, which is in, again, lovely condition. The console is not as good condition, but the label there started to go a bit wrinkly. But overall, it's not that bad. Turns on, so I mean, you can't break a Game Boy; it's impossible. And then obviously the games. Now the games, yeah. Oh, and there's obviously all the instruction books as well for the console, all nice in its original bag. So that's nice. And then the games. And there's nothing great here, so we'll start with the worst. Barbie's Groovy Games. I mean, what? And it's a Game Boy Advance game, which obviously won't even work in that. But yeah. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is mint, absolutely mint. I don't know if it's aware of anything or not, but another Harry Potter game. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Again, that's mint. Well, I said we'll go from good, worst to bad, but worst to bad, worst to good. But yeah, Sabrina, the animated series, Spooked, another Sabrina game, the animated series Zapped. So real top quality games here. And now for the one game, and it is absolutely mint. Let me close the box. Pokemon Yellow. Oh yes. What an absolute classic. This is absolutely mint. Now this was actually on top of all the games, so I was like, the only slight thing is the manual there is, it was folded like back on itself slightly. But yeah. And I was so fucking happy when I saw this. And there's the cartridge in this little bag, original bag. And they were right behind me, these two fucking wankers. And they had the right huff about it. I just fucking stormed off. I was just like, oh yes! I was like, fuck you. Oh yeah, and there's also came with this Blaze cheat cartridge thing. So yeah. So not loads of games of it, but it's just nice. Because that is absolutely mint. And I've been after the original red, blue and yellow boxed ones as well. I just they went up in price so much when Pokemon Go came out, and I sort of wasn't really looking for them anymore. So when I saw that, I was like, oh yes, fuck yes, I'm getting that. So yeah, that perked me up. I've been happy all weekend now about that. And I think that is everything. I've got some more CX stuff as well. I'm gonna do a separate video on that. The CX train is rolling still. I bought some mint games as well. I know I shouldn't have, but I thought I'd see what the condition they would arrive in. And yeah, they're pretty good to be fair. So yeah, and yeah, I think that's everything. So everyone's good. And I'll see you in the next video, guys.